The United States of America is a country like no other. From its vast landscapes to its diverse population to its unique political system, there's never a dull moment in this country. But have you ever wondered what makes the U.S. government so interesting? In this video, we're going to take a closer look at some of the most insane facts about the U.S. government that you probably didn't know about. So buckle up and get ready to be blown away. The Presidential Emergency Operations Center, or PEOC, is a secret underground bunker located beneath the east wing of the White House. It is designed to serve as a secure command center for the President of the United States and his or her staff in the event of a national emergency. PEOC is equipped with the latest technology and communication systems, including secure and direct communication lines to the Pentagon, FEMA, and other key government agencies. It is manned around the clock by a team of military and civilian personnel, and is considered to be one of the most secure locations in the entire country. The PEOC was built during the Franklin D. Roosevelt administration, in the early 1940s, as a response to the imminent threat of World War II. Originally, it was designed to serve as a bomb shelter and a secure communications center for the President and his staff. Over the years, it has undergone numerous renovations and upgrades to keep up with the latest technologies and to ensure its readiness to be used in a national crisis. In the event of an emergency, the President would be taken to the PEOC by a special elevator, and his staff and key personnel would follow. On 9/11, Vice President Dick Cheney spent some time in the bunker due to the potential danger to his safety. The PEOC is an underground complex that consists of a number of rooms and facilities designed to provide a safe and secure environment for the President and his staff in case of a national emergency. One of the most important rooms in the PEOC is the Situation Room, which is equipped with advanced communications equipment and large screens displaying real-time information. There are also conference rooms, private offices, a medical facility, and living quarters for essential personnel. During an emergency, the President would convene a meeting in the Situation Room with his advisors to assess the situation and determine the appropriate response. The PEOC is also equipped with a self-sustaining power supply, air filtration systems, food and water supply, and other amenities that would be necessary for prolonged stays. The fact that the U.S. government owns over 30% of the land in the country is significant for a number of reasons. One of the main reasons is that it allows for the preservation of the country's natural resources, such as forests, rivers, and wildlife habitats, through the establishment of national parks and wildlife refuges. It also ensures that these resources are available for the enjoyment and use of the public for generations to come. Additionally, government-owned lands provide important opportunities for scientific research, outdoor recreation, and education, as well as a source of revenue through tourism. The management and protection of these lands by the government is crucial to maintaining their ecological, cultural, and economic value. The different types of government-owned lands include national parks, forests, wildlife refuges, Bureau of Land Management, BLM, lands, Indian reservations, military reservations, and other government-owned properties such as monuments, memorials, and government buildings. National parks, such as Yellowstone and Yosemite, are protected areas of exceptional natural beauty and importance, while national forests are managed for both conservation and multiple uses, including timber, grazing, and recreation. Wildlife refuges are established for the conservation of wildlife and their habitats and are open to the public for hunting and wildlife observation. BLM lands are multi-use lands, used for activities such as mining, grazing, and recreation, while Indian reservations are lands reserved for the use of Native American tribes. Military reservations are used for national defense activities, while other government-owned properties include monuments and memorials that preserve the country's cultural heritage and government buildings that serve as centers of administration. Government-owned lands are managed by various agencies, including the National Park Service, the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, among others. These agencies are responsible for protecting and preserving the lands, wildlife, and cultural resources while also making them accessible to the public. Interesting facts about the government-owned lands include that Yellowstone National Park was the first national park in the world, established in 1872, and that the Grand Canyon was designated as a national park in 1919. The largest national park is Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve in Alaska, which covers over 8 million acres, and the most visited national park is Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee and North Carolina, which attracts over 10 million visitors each year. The government also operates the world's largest wildlife refuge, the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska, and manages over 245 million acres of land nationwide. The National Security Agency, or NSA, is a U.S. government intelligence agency that is responsible for intercepting, analyzing, and decoding foreign communications that may be of interest to national security. It is headquartered in Fort Meade, Maryland, and is one of the largest intelligence agencies in the world, with thousands of employees and contractors working around the clock to gather and analyze intelligence. The NSA's mission is to gather foreign intelligence that may impact U.S. national security, including counterterrorism, military, and diplomatic issues. The agency employs sophisticated technology to intercept electronic signals, such as phone calls, emails, and other types of digital communications, and then work to analyze and interpret the information obtained. The NSA also works closely with other intelligence agencies, such as the CIA and the FBI, to share and analyze information on potential threats to national security. The NSA was formed in 1952 as a response to the increasing need for intelligence gathering during the Cold War. At that time, the U.S. government became increasingly concerned about the activities of the Soviet Union and its allies, and wanted to ensure that the U.S. had access to as much intelligence as possible. The initial purpose of the NSA was to gather signals intelligence, or SIGINT, which involved intercepting and decoding electronic signals from foreign countries. Over time, the NSA's mission has expanded to include other forms of intelligence gathering, such as analysis of satellite imagery and cybersecurity. The NSA's activities are governed by a number of laws, including the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, which provides guidelines for surveillance of foreign targets, and the USA Patriot Act, which expanded the NSA's surveillance powers following the 9/11 attacks. The NSA's operations remain highly classified, and much of what it does is not known to the public. The NSA is one of the largest intelligence agencies in the world and has been responsible for many significant intelligence gathering operations over the years. One of its most notable achievements was its role in cracking the Enigma codes used by the German military during World War II, which significantly contributed to the Allied victory. During the Cold War, the NSA was responsible for monitoring communications of foreign governments and intercepting sensitive information. In recent years, the NSA has been involved in a number of controversial programs, such as the collection of domestic phone records under the USA Patriot Act. The NSA's surveillance activities have been the subject of much public debate and criticism in recent years, with some arguing that they violate citizens' privacy rights. The agency is also known for its highly advanced technology and cybersecurity capabilities, which are key to its intelligence gathering and defense against cyber threats. The U.S. government spends more on national defense than any other country in the world. In 2020, the U.S. spent over $740 billion on national defense, which accounts for approximately 40% of the world's total defense spending. This figure includes base spending, overseas contingency operations, and other related expenses. The U.S. defense budget has increased significantly in recent years, with 2020 seeing the largest defense budget in history. The U.S. also spends significantly more per capita on defense than any other country, with an estimated $2,250 per person spent annually on national defense. The U.S. massive defense budget supports a wide range of activities, including military operations, research and development of advanced weaponry and technology, personnel salaries and benefits, and maintenance of military infrastructure and equipment. The next 7 countries on the list of defense spending are China, India, Russia, Saudi Arabia, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Collectively, these countries spent a total of $1.2 trillion on defense in 2020, which is still less than the U.S. $740 billion alone. China is the closest competitor to the U.S., spending an estimated $261 billion on national defense in 2020, which is still less than half of the U.S. total. The other countries on the list spend significantly less than China, with India spending $71 billion, Russia spending $65 billion, and Saudi Arabia spending $61 billion. France, Germany, and the United Kingdom each spent around $50-60 billion on defense, which is significantly less than all the other countries on the list. In terms of military strength, the U.S. still leads the world by a significant margin, with the world's most powerful military and the largest number of active military personnel in the world. The U.S. massive spending on national defense has a number of implications, both positive and negative. On the positive side, it helps to ensure the security and safety of the U.S. and its allies, allows the U.S. to maintain a dominant military presence on the world stage, and can also provide a boost to the economy by creating jobs and supporting the defense industry. However, there are also negative implications to consider. The U.S. high defense spending has contributed significantly to the country's national debt and fiscal deficit, which can have long-term economic consequences. Additionally, some argue that the U.S. focus on military spending comes at the expense of other important areas, such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure development. There is also concern that the U.S. military power can sometimes lead to over-reliance on military solutions rather than diplomatic or political ones, which can exacerbate global tensions and conflicts. Finally, there is also a debate about the ethics of investing so much in defense while there are still many social and economic issues that need attention within the country. An official language is a language that is designated as the language of government, administration, and public institutions in a country. Many countries have an official language or languages, which are often based on historical, cultural, or linguistic factors. For example, many former British colonies have chosen English as their official language due to their history of British colonization. Other countries, such as France and Spain, have an official language based on their history and cultural identity. Countries with multiple official languages, such as Switzerland and Canada, often have linguistic and cultural diversity as a defining characteristic. Having an official language can help to promote national unity, facilitate communication between citizens and government agencies, and ensure that important documents and information are accessible to all citizens in a standardized form. Unlike many other countries, the United States does not have an official language designated at the federal level. There are several reasons for this. Historically, the U.S. has been a melting pot of different cultures and languages, and many early immigrants brought their own languages to the country. In the 18th and 19th centuries, many political figures, such as Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin, recognized the linguistic diversity of the country and advocated for a tolerant approach to different languages. In addition, the U.S. Constitution guarantees free speech and does not mandate the use of a particular language. While English is the most commonly spoken language in the U.S. and is often referred to as the de facto national language, there are also a significant number of Spanish speakers, as well as speakers of other languages such as Chinese, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. As a result, some argue that designating an official language could be seen as discriminatory or divisive. Not having an official language can have both positive and negative implications. On the positive side, it reflects the U.S. tradition of embracing diverse cultures and languages, which can help to promote cultural understanding and tolerance. It also means that the government must provide public services, such as voting instructions and legal documents, in multiple languages to ensure that all citizens have access to important information. However, not having an official language can also lead to several challenges. One challenge is that it can make it difficult for non-native speakers to navigate government services or hold elected officials accountable if they cannot effectively communicate with them. It can also lead to a lack of cohesion and a sense of national identity if citizens do not share a common language. Finally, some argue that not having an official language could hinder efforts to promote English language proficiency, which is an important skill in the global economy. And there you have it, folks. These were just some of the insane facts about the U.S. government. Who would have thought that the government we learn about in school could be so fascinating and strange? From underground bunkers to secret agencies to bizarre and outdated traditions, the US government truly is a treasure trove of crazy stories. What did you think of these facts? Do you have any other crazy facts you'd like to share? Let us know in the comments below.